Hello again. Today we're going to tie this flashback hare's ear. Good little fly this, does catch fish. It's got that mylar back to it, as you can see, which gives it its name. A pheasant tail fibres for the tail, some hare's ear dubbing for the body, and some fox squirrel dubbing mixed with hare's ear for the thorax, and that's about it, to be fair. Good fly on a bright day, I've found. I use this quite a bit in the river when it's sunny, and it does catch fish. I normally use these in 16s or 14s, but I'm going to tie a 12 today for you. Just it's easier for you to see on the video. So without waffling on too much, we're going to take this one out of the vise. And in the vise, this is a Camazan, and it is a B120. And I've already put about 8 turns of lead on that. It's just Vineyard's small lead. It's 0.40 in diameter of a millimetre, that is. Thread, Camel 80. I've waxed this thread, and then I'm just going to start in front of the lead, and you can see I've positioned the lead in the thorax area, and then I'm going to jump the thread behind. Just going to move that up a little bit, there we go, and build another little dam behind the lead, and what that does is just stops the lead from travelling up and down the shank. So you're going to double check I've got a nice bit of wax on the thread, spin it anti-clockwise just to flatten it out, and I'm just going to do a few crissy-crossy wraps over the lead, and that's just going to help to hold the lead on there. So tail is pheasant tail, like I said, wherever I've put it, there it is. So again, we bring the fibres 90 degrees from the stem, and that lines the tips up, as you can see. And I don't know how many there are. Half a dozen to a dozen, I don't know. I don't count them. With this 12, I want a few more, actually. So there's probably 8 fibres here. And I like the tails to be length of the hook shank. Just take a look. Yep, happy with that. Now I'll do a couple of turns to secure it, and I'm going to tie in the wire. And this is just I actually got this from Hobbycraft. It's like a beading wire, but it's a nice size, fairly small, and it's just a standard gold wire. Actually, before I tie that in, I'm just going to trim this full length of the body, throw it in the bin. Now I'm going to take the wire, tie the wire in, and then I'm going to tie the wire and the pheasant tail in at the same time. Didn't do that very well, did I? Just going to trim some of this pheasant tail. I made a mess of that. Anyway, so just tidy this up. There we go. And then I'm going to bring the thread back to the start of the tail, and I'm going to move the wire out of the way. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Right, now I'm going to tie in the flash back. So the flash back, this is just a UTC Mirage tinsel in opal, and because I'm doing a 12, this is the large size. When I do like a 16, I will drop it down to the medium. So I'm just going to turn the fly over to my side just so I can catch it. I'm going to come up with a pinching loop to catch it. I'm going to maneuver the tinsel until it's bang plumb on top of the hook. Oh, come here. Just do a couple of turns just to hold it. And now you want to make sure it's bang plumb on top, which it is. I'm happy with that. Just going to tie the rest of that in, and then bring my thread back once more. Okay, now we're going to put some dubbing. This is just hare's mask. I use this quite a lot. It's a lovely dubbing, and it's just I literally got a couple of hares masks and stripped, plucked, shaved all the fur off it, popped it into a coffee grinder and just mixed it all up and just put it in that bag. It's a great colour. I really like this colour on flies for some reason. It's such a natural look. So I'm going to wind this dubbing up for the body. So I want a little tiny bit more. Like we've said with dubbing before, when you put it on the thread, less is more. It's easier if you haven't got a lot on the thread. I'm going to sweep all this back with my fingers, pop the thread in front. Now I'm going to bring the mylar over, going to catch it with 2 turns, making sure it's right on the top. Come around with another turn, take my wire, nice straight turn at the back, and then I'm going to come around, and when I turn over I'm loose, as in I'm not really cranking on it when I'm going over here. I'm fairly loose, and once I've got it I pull straight down to tighten. So fairly loose over, straight down to tighten, fairly loose over, straight down to tighten. Come up and catch the wire off. Don't worry that everything is everywhere at the moment. You can sort that in a minute. Just catch the wire and then, like we do with wire, wiggle, 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 and it will snap off eventually. There we go. You're better off doing that. Now I'm going to fold this mylar back, again keeping it on the top, and then a couple of wraps in front. And I'm just going to have a look. Yeah, we're good, we're good. Now we are going to take some fox squirrel dubbing, and I'm just going to mix it with a little bit of the hare's mask. Okay, the fox squirrel dubbing is a lovely dubbing. It's out of this box here, just natural furs. I think this is a vineyard box as well. But the fox squirrels, this one here, it's a lovely, lovely spiky dubbing. So I'm going to take some of my hare's mask, not too much, and I've got the fox squirrel on the bottom, hare's mask on the top. You can see the slightly different colours, and I'm just going to mix it in my fingers, just like that. And the fox squirrel helps to darken up that thoracic area as well. But it's mainly because it's lovely and spiky. So we're going to take the fox squirrel dubbing, and we're going to dub it onto the thread. Come on. See, being a bit spikier, it is a little bit harder to dub on the thread, but it's not difficult at all, this dubbing. It's a very, very user-friendly dubbing. So fairly tight. I mean, we will be picking a little bit of it out, but we're going to come round with the dubbing. Oh, come on. Sweep that back. I'm going to drop my thread in front and have a look. I'm going to put a tiny, tiny bit more dubbing on that. Not much, but a bit. So it's going to come round. There we go. That was just the fox squirrel. So wax my thread. I'm going to pull the mylar over again, catch it, make sure she's bang plumb on the top. Yep, happy. 1, 2, 3. Pull it back. 1, 2, 3. Come in with your skizzers. And I tend to just nick the side of it and then tear. You get a much neater cut. There we go. Now I'm just going to sweep all this dubbing back if I can and build the head. There we are. And I'm going to come in with some varnish on the thread. Yep, not that. grab my whip finish tool and come in. Tighten, trim, and then I'm just going to brush out some of that thorax. So I've got an old toothbrush here, mind your tail. I'm just going to brush some of that out so it's all lovely and spiky. And then last but not least, if I can just, oh excuse me, I don't know where my foot pedal's gone, there it is. I'm just going to put a little bit of UV resin on top of the mylar, and that is just to protect it. So I'm going to put a bit on with the brush like that. Some of it will go over the thread wraps at the front. Okay. I'm going to get my needle and just have a look. That's actually not too bad. But have a look. Happy with that? Just zap it with a light. Try not to aim this light at you. You don't want to be looking into this light. And then once that UV resin's set, doesn't take long. That is it, basically. Like I said, it's a great buggy hare's ear, and it's just got that little bit of flash on the top. Just on those bright sunny days, it does glint and catch their eye. I find it's one of them flies, they either nail it or they spook off it. There's not many in-betweens with this fly. They'll either see it and just engulf it, or they'll just completely ignore it. But there you go. I hope you enjoyed that one. I love tying these. I like hares anyway. I've always said if I could have one fly, or I had to have one fly for the rest of my life, it would be a hare's ear or a variant of it. So if you have enjoyed it, please hit that like button. Please leave me any comments. And if you're not subscribed to the channel, please do so. It does help out. And I'll see you on the next one. Thank you.